You there with the mad staring eyes, it is I, Colonel Failure, and you are back in Foundation once again. Since the last episode, the game has released on early access, and that killed my save. This was not unexpected, but my plan all along had been to rebuild where I'd got up to in a new game, and basically pick up the narrative immediately after that. The downside, however, is that I wasn't quite able to do that perfectly. So this should look somewhat familiar, but not entirely familiar. I tried to retake my steps. How many times I tried? About 6 times to try and get my village centre up here with a couple of fundamentals, which we have got here, along with the church and all of the rest of it, right? And then somehow be able to craft a bridge to get across this bit of river. Couldn't be done. I tried it multiple times, could not make it happen. The biggest holdback that you get is that you only get the forester when you get up to 10 villagers. And if no new villagers can reach you, you can't get the forester, which means you have only the starting amount of wood. I built the bare minimum of stuff necessary, couldn't make it happen. So I gave up eventually, and I built my village centre out here. It's currently deserted because everybody's working, which is exactly where I want them. I gave up and built in a more sensible location, but have since expanded to try and make the village more or less as it was when you left. So how about you stick around, and in a moment I'll catch you up on what we're up to. So I'm actually a little further ahead than I was with the previous save game. Well, in terms of, I'm in week 94, right? So we're coming up on 2 years. Is that discontent has set root in my villagers, and they all keep leaving. Bloody ingrates, the lot of them. And the big thing that's going to change that is by securing my financial well-being of the future. I don't believe that for a second. So it keeps telling me I've unlocked new stuff, but I think that's largely because I've just not exercised it. And the thing that's holding me back, more than anything else, is that I do not have a bakery. It's here. I've just been able to afford the cash, because it costs 300 quid up front to get that done. And you join us at a momentous moment where Jacques here is bringing in the necessary odds and ends in order to get it finished, because I've got flour and water just waiting. Starvation has been ever such a slight problem up to this point. Well, you say starvation, people just going a little bit hungry has been a bit of a holdback, but once this springs into life, oh, you best believe, don't wander off, Jack. I need get your hammer back over here, mate. It's hammer time, figuratively and literally. I need you to come on, keep doing the knock tap 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 business and get this thing flipping finished. Because as soon as this is operational, our food woes should be over. In order to deal with the food woes, I've employed several fishing personages, one of whom is sailing under the bridge now. Beautiful. Given that she's controlling it with the power of her mind, I feel confident that she's come back with a healthy number of aquatic delicacies. How many? 5. They always come back with 5. I built a few more of those to try and help out a little bit. There's some more aquatic delicacies that are currently sailing upstream. I think, what have we got going on here? That's a house. Oh, yeah. I buckled. Well, I'll cover that in a minute. Yes, because the, I think 3-4 food bushes that I'm currently working with have not been sufficient to keep everybody suitably fed. There is also the likelihood that my warehousing solution is inadequate. We've got 3 on the go. So we've got one up here by the town centre. That's largely kind of tradable materials, I guess you'd call them, working there. Down here you've got more sort of construction material storage going on here. It's vague at the moment because it needs to be. And then right down here by the market, I've got a third one, which is storing food and tradable shirts. Well, you say tradable shirts, but at the moment they're not tradable in the slightest because nobody wants a shirt. And I'm hoping that the provision of bread will suddenly create a shirt market, which will see me become very wealthy very quickly. It might not, but you know, one lives in hope, as you do. I've maxed out my markets here, so we've got 4 stalls going on. We sell a bit of fruits, we sell a bit of fish, we would sell some bread if there was bread to be sold, and we sell some slot 1, which is the shirts there. That's all good. You can see that we've had a fair amount of turnover in terms of civilians because we now have clones coming in. So we've got female 138 there as a carpenter. Good for her. She's one of the better carpenters out there. Male 1,219 as a fisherman. Good lad. Well done. Excellent work there. So we've exhausted the name database already, and sadly I don't have the ability to give people a spicy new name, which is something that I like to do, and therefore, oi devs, spicy new names. It's got to be done, mate. Got to be done. Plumb that in. It's very easy. You just do the thing that allows me to do that, and then everybody's happy. But we're making all of the fundamentals. So we've got polished stone on the go. We're back. Is this Jacques again? Yeah, he's had his tea. He's come back, and he's now hammer timing. Are we there? Come on. 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 I can't go any further than that. It's just... There you go. Went beyond the ridiculous there. We've got the bakery. Let's assign an available villager, and we'll assign another one as well. The match made in heaven there on Tinder of female 1168 and male 1772. They're going to have beautiful children. They might well look like an ampersand. There we go. So the bakery is now up and frisking. And this should lead to a situation where we have high prosperity for quite some time. Let's go and have a look at the church. Here it is, look. Now, it's quite a bit bigger than it was in the old village. And we can currently support 45 people in the church. So I might route this for some additional additions. Right, let's go for a small tower. Can I edit what's already there? I'm not sure I can. So I figured out how to make things taller and shorter and wider and fatter and all of that kind of jazz. But what's that? Building complete. House. That's exciting. Yeah, so I've figured that out, and I'll show you how to do that now. Can't plug that in the end, huh? Okay. Oh, how about a second tower? Do you want to sit on the middle? Go on, it would look great. There's a snap point there and everything. Maybe if I give it some rotation, it will want to play ball. Negative on the playing ball. We can stick it on the side, although quite what function that will fulfill, I've no idea. Well, I'll do it just to show you anyway. I might get rid of it afterwards. But you grab this and you go, way, and you end up with something that looks positively redonkulous. Yeah, we don't want that. But I do need a bit more extension because we're not quite servicing all of our village folk as religiously as they would like us to at the current time. Yeah, swing that around there, bolt it on that, stick that, match the height, match the height, match the height. Why won't you match the height? I don't want an uneven roof joist. Well, a little bit shorter it is then, I suppose. Alright, and then we'll stick another one on the other side as well. Wooden extension. A, no, B, yes. There you are, right. And that's your job. Yeah, it's a fat little church, but it is my church, and therefore that's all good. Let's bang a door on the back end. Purely because I've noticed that the citizens like to try and get in through every available orifice. In fact, it doesn't want me to put another door on. All right, fine. Start the Get rid of that. Start the construction. We'll get that going. That'll up the capacity there. Now, over on my mansion, which is here. Look at it. Look at the size of that as a mansion. I've dedicated all of this land to me. I'll even put these lot out of business. So if I need my mansion to get much bigger, I'll do that in the future. I've added one extra bit of to boost my my capacity for gold. We've got bread happening. Look, it's flowing out as quickly as it's flowing in. We're gonna be well breaded before you know it, and that's going to be magical. I'm not hiring any soldiers at the moment because we don't have enough people in the village at the moment to warrant some soldiers. And that's not because I don't need a militia to keep people properly appointed towards their task at hand. It's more that I don't have enough citizens at the moment to support everything. There you go. Let's put some weavers in work. Because when people quit, they don't tell you where they've quit from, so you end up having to do poke the building, which is one of my favourite games, in order to figure out exactly which one is now unoccupied. How about the sheep's farm? No, we've got a shepherd in there. Regular farms. I made some people redundant from regular farms because we didn't need the wheat. But as you can see, the money's going in the right direction, which means I'm ripe for a bit of expansion, I think. Right, let's talk housing. So the whole of this area is allotted towards housing. I've got a forester down there, and therefore I'm calling this area Centre Parks. Houses, trees, all that business. And that's worked out quite nicely. But I think I might stick a second forester in here as well, just to really buff up the entire area. We've got some more berries down there that are ripe for the picking, and we'll move in that direction. But the next thing that I can build that I should be working towards are the merry friends of the iron smelter, blacksmith, coal hut, and iron mine. Now, if I pull up the iron mine here, you'll see you can't just bang it everywhere. I mean, that should come as a surprise to none of us. But there's one over there. Equal if we go coal hut. Not entirely sure how the coal hut works, but I suspect they turn logs or some such into charcoal. That would be the Minecraft way, and therefore I heartily anticipate that is going to be the case. Once I've got the blacksmith, then we can actually make some tools, one would assume. No. You've got to smelt some iron, and then you've got to go to the blacksmith, and then you can probably make your own tools rather than having to import them in from others. Fine, so be it. I'm good with this, but as yet, we're not at that stage. I need to extend a little bit further. Haven't got any more good stuff here because I haven't been doing jobs for the various external folk at the current time. Decorations, there you go. There's all of that. So that's the stage that we're at. Let's up the tempo and just watch it for a minute or two while I figure out what it is that I'm actually going to be doing. The food situation does seem to be improved, given that we're no longer running dry on berries. A few more fish would certainly do us no harm. But if we go to the market, what have we got in stock here? Yeah, we've got two types of food. But what this hasn't done is created a demand for the high fashion shirt, of which I have many in stock. And the other thing I haven't seen is anyone upgrading their house. And I don't know why that is. If we go towards happiness, 53 villagers are currently lacking in religious functionality. That could be because I've taken the church offline to upgrade it. That will improve when that comes back in. 15 are lacking food, 8 are lacking housing and water. Oh, so be it. I mentioned before that I'd succumbed to the whims of my population. I've let them start building houses a little bit closer to things. So in here, house 1, where do you work? You are a alleged fisherman. Well, that's good because that's next door. Fisher, you are one of the bakers. Good. 1772 is the other baker. Good. And you're the weaver. Well, that makes sense because they're all relatively nearby. Now, if you go to zone housing, zone residential, it will give you this this heat map of where people actually want to be housed. Now, I think I've worked out the secret formula for why they want to be housed there, and it's because the market's nearby. Well, the market is going to be standalone, so they can either get with the program and just live where it is that I'm telling them they can live, or they can just be unhappy. We need to get this church finished. My happiness is dropping like a stone, and it's all because they're lacking religion. Honestly, what can I do about that? Right, we can unlock the large stone wall, the wooden wall, and the wooden keep. But that, certainly in the last build, it triggered the... triggered the mission to actually go build the thing. I wasn't quite there. See, look, there it is. What do you want? We'll give you quest, build a wooden keep, and then I'll receive 50 bottles of some such. Alright. Now, if I recall correctly, there wasn't a time limit on building a wooden keep, so fine. We'll have build wooden wall as well. We haven't got anything for this yet. We've got additional parts for the church when I reach 10 serfs. I'm not at 10 serfs yet, which is odd, given that we're now providing food, and I suspect it's because these houses are not upgrading. Do that. Upgrade! Upgrade! I mean, I suppose I could put a market in the middle of here to make this more desirable, but that's... I liked the idea of having a central marketplace. I'm not going to... I'm not messing around there. I thought that was rather snazzy. But evidently, it is not rather snazzy, and instead is counter to what the pilgrims want. The other thing I don't approve of is that they just fling their houses up all over the shop. They don't give any care and attention to decent placement in the slightest. Right, what do you want? You want 5 days, and you'll give me some sword fighting goodness. Alright, okay. Or I can give it to the church, or I can give it to my people. That's what we want. We want hammer time. There we go. Deliver 5 food. Right, well, if I tell that to stockpile, just briefly, there we go. Then once those are stored in a warehouse, I can ship that off. That's another change between early access and now. No, whatever it was previously. Pre-launch and early access, which is now, means that you can't send the goods to whoever wants it until it's hit a warehouse. So we're waiting for that one to receive the bread, and then I can send it. I've got 12 bread just kicking around the joint, but I can't do an awful lot with it until it's in the warehouse. See, I'm not sure where it's being stockpiled. It's probably being stockpiled in the bakers. But I think what I'll probably end up building is another warehouse, because the transportation staff are really useful in actually moving things around. I've noticed that people don't tend to move things around of their own volition. It's only the transporters that do that. So another warehouse would provide... Where's that bread just gone? Look, when I tell you to stockpile something, what I don't mean is just keep selling it as usual, lads. That's absolutely fine. Just keep it unless I'm selling it. That's certainly a possibility. Bread. Nope, we don't do anything with that. No trade. We don't trade it in the slightest. Okay, well that's not it. Well, where's it gone then? Did we just feed it to the flipping peasants? Because that won't do. You've got 20 in stock. You've got 24 in stock. Well, I needed 24 in the what's it? Let's hit the stock maximum. And I mean, don't get me wrong. So far, that hasn't appeared to do very much. But by clicking on that button now, I'm sure it's going to make all the difference. Any time now. It's waiting to be picked up. That's the problem. It doesn't count until it's entered the system. And we got 20, which I bet is no, it's not here. Well, where the heck is it then? If the 20 is not on the market and it's not in the warehouse, then I have 20 that is somewhere. Is it in the village centre? No, it's not. Then where is it? I've only got 7 days left, people. We've got the stuff. Just put it somewhere so I can send it out. I could stop selling it for a little while. That'd help. There you go. Sell some more berries. There you go. That'll sort that. And at some point, some of this has got to end up in a ruddy wet. There we go. That's got it. And hit it. Hooray! Good. Now then. Now put that back on bread. There you go. And turn that off. Yeah. Tell it to stop stockpiling because that was super effective. And get back to work. There you go. Right. That'll make the punters a little happier again. And I've got some hammers with which I could buy a hedge. Ooh. And the stone set for the Lord's Manor. I'll be honest with you, that's not that exciting. It's just not that exciting. I'm just not that thrilled by either of those things. Really. I'm just not. Okay, right, well, whatever. I'm going to build a market here. I'm going to build a warehouse here as well. In fact, if I can squeak it in near this stone edifice, which we'll say was left by druids, then that will work splendidly. Actually, I think I get the best bang for buck if I place it about there. Yeah. I don't want to. It goes completely against my my design aesthetics. But there it is. We'll bang it in over here. No. Give it some rotates. There you go. We'll bang it in over there. I'm not even building them a hutch for the top of it. They can just do that. That's the other thing I've noticed with markets. When you tell it to go build, it doesn't leave you a handy dandy scaffold so that you can look at its progress. You just have to remember I built a market there. Or you can do what I did when I was trying to get to this point, which is build 4 markets in exactly the same place, but off by a few feet in each direction, and then they all get built at the same time, and you just kind of go, no, bulldoze 3 of them. There we go. Jacques on the case. Look, he's giving it some hammer. Go on, Jacques. Give it large, mate. Bash that thing in. There we go. Right, you can stock bread. Well, I know, quite sophisticated, because what we desperately need is for these houses to all start upgrading, because they're just not. The desirability is now average. Is it though? Is it indeed? Jack selling there. Hello, anyone want to buy some bread? Oh yeah, I'd like some bread. Tough, we haven't got any. I'm waiting for someone to make me a deliver. Meanwhile, anyone like a good stare? Because I'll drop some staring on you like you wouldn't believe. Now, we do have the ability, if I had... Oh, he's gone. If I had any bread actually stored somewhere, we could now unlock the next area, which allows me to trade these shirts, which would make me some cash. See, villagers leaving due to unhappiness. I see that as the natural ebb and flow of those people who would harm me. Given he's back, look, he's gone. We could just sit here, and every time he turns up, I could go, oh look, he's back. Oh no, he's gone. We're at a staring contest with Citizen 18246 or whatever his name is. But there we go. He's a popular guy. Clearly, I'm hoping he's gone to get some bread. But if we now paint residential again, you'll see. Ah, looks. We've actually increased the happiness in this area. Well, that's boring. That's not. It's okay, I suppose. But it means that I can't have my lovely central market square. It's only 5 minutes walk over a bridge, for crying out loud. I mean, how tough is it? We've got a bunch of unemployed people. Now, that will never do. Let's move back towards full employment here, rather than having ingrates just sat around doing nothing. There you go. Give me my market trading folk. That's very important. Tailor's workshop. We've got no tailoring currently occurring. Well, we've got nowhere to store the shirts, and the punters don't want to buy them, which is a bit disappointing. I don't have a priest at the moment, but I don't seem to be able to deploy a priest. We have -1 faithful in attend. There we go. -1 faithful currently attending. I'm going to guess that that's because people keep going to church and then dying. Or maybe it's a funeral or something. Either of these things are certainly possible. But it's certainly keeping them gainfully something or other. Right, fish, yeah, fish, yeah. Fish, yeah. And fish. Good. Oh, what about this one? Fish? Yes. Alright, good. Stone polishing. Yeah, that's happening. And here, yeah, that's happening too. Right, wood cutting. Yeah, see, I'm looking for the ones that don't have full employment at the moment. And forester, yeah, you're foresting. Okay, so what next? Well, I'll tell you what, let's put in another forester. Because that way we can make this whole area a little bit Robin Hood. And there's nothing wrong with that. Forester camp. Yeah. Where will you fit? Oh, you'll fit in here. Oh, that's good. Yeah, let's do it. Bang it in right aside the path. Now, if you don't like where the path is, just build a building over the top of it, and people will rework the path accordingly. That's what I've seen happening anyway. Got 2 millers. Yeah, we've got 2 millers. Let's head up here. We've got a double sawmill action going on. Yeah. Let's see. Look, no, not working at full flipping capacity. We've got 2 transporteers. More foraging. Foraging is of the essence. What about this lot? No foragers. Well, there we go. That'll do for now. Right. Okay. There you go. That's your lot for today. We'll be back with some more tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to occur there. I don't know. We'll probably poke around a little bit more. Meanwhile, let's hang out in the forest. We've got some flappy trees going on. Actually, if I slow this down, it might look more realistic. No, it just isn't. Right, I don't want that as an ending screenshot. Anyway, what I want is to head back over here and wait for Captain Mad's Daring Eyes to turn back up off what I'm assuming is another break. Oh, I had 700 quid there. I could have bought a new bit of land. Yeah, maybe I ought to do that. Anyway, I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for tuning in. You've been a delight, as ever. We shall continue... Here he is, look. We shall continue our adventures. How close can I get? Keep staring, dude. Keep staring. There we go. He's not quite in focus. But, oddly, that is potentially more menacing. I'll be back soon with some more of the same. Why don't you hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss it? And fine, be like that. See if I care. I'm going to find his name and then refer to him endlessly in some kind of running joke. I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio! Okay, so we're up and running in the live version of the game now. Well, it wasn't live beforehand, but this is the one that everyone can get their hands on free and easy and splendidly. And yeah, it's remarkably more attractive than it was before. Not that it wasn't attractive before. I kind of missed the Tron River as much as looking at that for too long would cause you some kind of seizure. But yeah, it's really quite attractive. Anyway, I've got plenty more of this series to come. I've got money in the bank, and that's sure to end up in. Well, it's going to be absolutely splendid, I reckon. Fling a subscription this way if you want to keep up with the series, because you know that's how you do that. You could just remember to come back, but it's not as good. No, it's not as effective either. So yeah, your subscription button is your friend. Hit that button and it'll thank you forever.